Hello everybody, welcome back to another Expeditions Guide. Today we're taking a look at Birds of a Feather. This is an expedition in the Transylvanian Alps, and we're going to be using the Decin S-3T for this expedition. If you have any questions about my vehicle loadout, you will find that in the description below. Let's talk a little bit about what we're doing. So, in order to do this expedition, you have to have completed crash landing, and you also need to have a hydro monitoring system. So we're going to be using the Decin to have the sideboard. I also have some extra fuel in the sideboards as well. So, here's where we're at. We're starting at the field operations base, and we're going to be making our way up into the mountains above. The first thing we need to do is go over here to examine the sinkhole, after which we're going to drive down into the sinkhole to install the hydro monitoring system, after which we're going to make our way back out and over to this little base over here to finish the expedition. So, pretty simple one, but let me go ahead and I'll show you how it's done. One other thing to point out along the way is we're going to be building a bridge right here, and then we're going to be clearing a rock avalanche here. So if you haven't cleared those out, that'll be 75 spare parts each for a total of 150 spare parts to follow this route. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is make our way right on out of the outpost here. And we're just going to follow this path up and out and head over to the left. And once we get over here, we're going to go right across the rocks to get across the river and head on down below. And from here, we're going to go right on across the snow. And then we're going to head on down and make a right-hand turn and follow this ridge line down to the shore. And we're just going to stay to the left here just to get up out of the snow. And from here we need to do a little bit of island hopping. So we're going to go right over to this one, and we're just going to stay on these 3 islands to the right here. They're kind of tricky to get your tire placement just right. But once you do, you'll be able to get across this river pretty easily. Once we get over to this third one, we're going to head immediately to the left and go across up over by this tree branch. Just going to go right in through the middle here and head across to the other side. Once we get over here, we're going to make our way through the snow and start heading up the hill to the center of the island. So right over here, we're going to follow the path up. And we're just going to go right around the rocks here, just go right over these bushes. And from here we're going to head right on down, right through here, and climb up the other side. And we're actually going to check the airdrop for some supplies. We got an anchor and some gems, so that'll be some extra stuff to sell. Plus, additional anchors are always helpful. And once we get over here, we're going to follow this little gap in the rocks. We're going to follow this all the way down to the bottom here. It's a little tricky. There's a lot of rocks and some trees and stuff. But we're able to just kind of squeeze right through here. And once we get down to the shoreline, we're going to swing to the north and head over to the bridge spot. we're just going to drive on the ice here just to stay up out of the snow as much as we can. And then right over here, we're going to head on over to the bridge spot. And right over here, we're going to go ahead and build the bridge. Like I said, that'll be 75 spare parts to build the bridge. So with that bridge built, we can go right on across. And we can head right on down here and go right across these rocks. Now it's time to head up into the mountains. So we're just going to stay on the left side here through the shallow snow, and there's some dry ground here that we'll be able to use. Now here we are in the snow. One thing I want to show you guys, I did some testing with this, thanks to one of your comments. But we can drop the tire pressure down in the snow, and it actually gives you a good speed boost through the snow. So I never thought to try that before. I just kind of pushed my way through the snow because I wasn't really getting bogged down. But you can deflate the tires and get a little bit of a speed boost through the snow. You also have to make sure you reinflate once you get out of the snow. But that's just a little tip and trick I decided to do some testing on thanks to one of your comments. I really appreciate that. Once again, back into the thick snow, we're going to drop the tire pressures. And that's just going to help us through some of these tougher snow patches. We can save a little bit of time doing that. Right over here, we're going to head to the left and go around these trees. That's why you need to reinflate your tires. Otherwise your tires take damage. So, got to do that there, but that's alright. Right now we're just kind of maneuvering our way through the rocks here, so we're going to go ahead and just reinflate those tires. Our way up over this tree branch, and then we're going to head to the left here and just squeeze our way through the rocks. And right over here, we're going to head to this rock, get up out of the snow. This right here is going to be a little bit of a tricky spot. You want to go right up here, up and over the rocks. And now we're in some thick snow again, so we're going to drop the tires down and keep moving forward. And from here, we're just making our way right on over to this rock fall that we can clear. Alright, right over here, we're going to go ahead and clear the rock fall. That is another 75 spare parts. So we're going to go ahead and get that cleared out and make our way through. And from here, we're going to head right on over here. There are some rocks covering the pass here that we'll be able to just go right across. So from here, we're just going to maneuver right over these rocks. It's just a very narrow little bridge. And we got a little bit of a tricky turn here. So what we want to do is go right in between the tree and the rocks here. Kind of right over the rocks just a little bit. So we want to make this sharp angled turn up to the left here. And we can kind of use this banking on the right side here to kind of help turn the truck. Then from here we got some more snow to go through, so we're going to go ahead and deflate the tires and continue on our way. Now keep in mind, deflated tires do burn more fuel, but it is offset by a little bit quicker speed through the snow. So it's kind of up to you how you want to use that information, but if you do need to go a little quicker in the snow, you can deflate the tires, get a little bit of extra speed through the snow. Right over here, we're going to reinflate the tires. So we are closing in on our first waypoint. Got a nice little dip there to go across, little patch of snow. And from here, we're going to head right on up to our waypoint, which is right in the middle of the snow here. So from here, we can go ahead and start scanning. And we're going to examine the sinkhole. It actually looks like a heart, so we're starting the heart of a heart. Funny. Alright, so with that out of the way, that is our first step. We need to head down into the sinkhole. So what we're going to do is head on down the hill here and follow this path that kind of spirals around down to the bottom here where we can install the hydro monitoring system. So to start off, we need to go ahead and reverse out of here. And we're just going to get over to this bigger open area here, which is going to give us some room to actually get turned around. And then we begin our descent. So from here, we're going to head right down in between the rocks. We're just going to make our way right on down to the bottom here. From here, we're just going to kind of stay to the left side here, up and out of the snow. And once we get past the snow, we got a little bit of a mud puddle here to go through. Here we're going to go right through the trees. We're just going to stay on the right side here. Just keep our tires up out of the snow. And we're actually running out of fuel, so let's go ahead and top up. And then we can continue on our way. So this is another big snow patch, so we're going to go ahead and pressure down the tires and just work our way through this. A little bit of tire damage there, but that's alright. So from here we can go ahead and repressure the tires. I'm going to go right across the stream. And right over here we got some more snow to go through. And you can see our drop-off point right down below us there. That is where we are headed. And it is a doozy of a spot to get to, so now that we're out of the snow here, we can go ahead and reinflate the tires. And I'll show you how we're going to get down there. So this is a very, very tricky spot here to get down there. So we're just going to kind of just take a big arc here. Just very carefully through the rocks. Nice and easy. Take it slow. And we'll be able to drive right on down to the waypoint right here. So we can go ahead and deliver the hydro monitoring system. Alright, with the hydro monitoring system delivered, all we have to do is make our way back on up and over to the outpost here, the researchers camp. Our base camp is close by. You can come over for a cuppa when you can. I'll fill you in on the latest conspiracy theories. Now, getting out of here is a little on the tricky side, so we're going to use this branch to kind of pull us up out of the mud. And instead of trying to turn around, we're just going to reverse out of here. We're just going to reverse right on up the hill. So that is going to be the safest option. We can use all these branches and stuff to get ourselves pointed in the right direction. Just right up over here. Kind of park yourself by this tree. And then from here we can head to the left. And right up through the snow. And we are safely on our way. Now, if you're having trouble getting down there, I definitely recommend using anchors and things like that to get yourself some precise winch points. Definitely makes that a little easier to get down there, because that is a very tricky spot. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to deflate the tires again and keep moving forward. And since we have the tires deflated, we're going to stay in the snow the best we can here. And once we get out of here, we can go ahead and reinflate the tires and make our way across the stream. And all we're doing right now is just working our way back out of the sinkhole here. We're just going to kind of squeeze through these branches here and just try to go around the snow here. And once we get through here, we have our little mud pit. And make our way through that. Alright, we are almost out of here. So once again, what we're going to do is head on through the little mini canyon here. So we make our way up to the top of the mountain. And we're going to stay on the left side here so we can go around that tree. So you don't want to go too far to the left, otherwise you're upsetting the balance of your vehicle. And we're just going to climb right on up out of here. And what we're going to do here is head on to the left and start making our way over to the researchers' camp. So we're just going to head right on down here. We're going to go around this big rock. It's going to set us down below. We're just going to go right on through the snow here and make our way down. There's a little pond down here that we're going to use. And we're just going to go right through the pond, kind of staying on the shoreline of it. Just kind of hugging that shoreline as we make our way through the pond. And from here, we got a bit of snow to cross through. So once again, we're going to go ahead and deflate the tires and make our way through the snow. Alright, once we made it through the snow, we're going to go ahead and reinflate the tires and continue. Head right on over to the left here, and we got another pond here that we're going to just kind of go around. We're just going to stay right up on the shoreline, go around it. And from here we're going to head right on down and up the other side. And this is going to get us to another small snow patch that we're just going to go right on through. We're just going to kind of follow the dry ground here. And that is going to take us to the researcher's base. So once we get here, all we got to do is drive right on over to the blue square. And there you go. That is going to complete Birds of a Feather. So I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think, and this is going to unlock the Rock Crawler kit for the KRS Pathfinder. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and until next time, I'll see you in the wilds. Bye-bye.